Hi guys, Green Eyed Guide here. So it is the second anniversary of my book being published. And to celebrate, I first wanted to thank everyone who's bought a copy and everyone who's talked about it and told their friends and family about it. I really appreciate all the support and keep up the good work, you guys. So I also wanted to read an excerpt of this book. Today I'm going to read the preface and a little bit of the introduction, which I think gives a little bit of insight into why I wrote this book and what I hope my readers take out of it. So bear with me, here we go. I can feel it in my brain, somewhere deep behind my eyes. It's an odd tingling, almost like the sensation one gets right before sneezing. A sneeze releases that sensation, but this one lingers like the suspense of a wave right before it crashes. I know what to do to resolve this tingling. Close my eyes, for I am falling asleep. I try to focus on what the teacher is saying. I open my eyes as wide as possible in an attempt to force them to stay open. This eye-opening maneuver doesn't work at fighting my fatigue, though it does manage to frighten a classmate who chose the wrong time to steal a glance at me. I pinch the web of skin between my thumb and forefinger, but the sensation doesn't wake me up either. I wiggle my toes inside my shoes, and this seems to work for about a minute. Great. I'll just have to keep moving my feet for another hour and I'll be fine. Ugh. Whose idea was it to hold an organic chemistry class at 8 a.m. anyway? This class is absolutely killing my GPA, and I can't afford to fall asleep 1 week before the midterm. I need to focus. I need to pay attention. I need to wake up so I can actually learn something. I've exhausted every option I can think of, so it's time to break out the big guns. I need an energy drink. I slip the energy shot out of my messenger bag, quietly open the seal, and take one tiny sip, saving the rest for later. Immediately, I feel more alert, but being a biochemistry major, I know it's the placebo effect, not caffeine, which kicks in instantaneously. I know the caffeine itself will take at least 20 minutes to get absorbed and get to work in my system. Still, the knowledge that I have caffeine in my system helps me more than wiggling my toes or pinching myself or scaring my classmates with the eye exercises. One sip, that's all I need for now. I know better than to chug the whole thing. I understand the chemistry, and I know my body. Perhaps, if I could share what I know with others, I could help them understand these products better. One sip makes the difference between asleep and awake, but could one book make the difference between aware and informed, between unsafe and cautious? I have to try. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. This is from the introduction. The purpose of this book is to inform, not to demonize or promote any particular product. I believe information is power, and that those who are better informed can make smarter choices. Personally, I find energy drinks fascinating. This may be the best time to confess I am a science nerd, but I'm not much different than anyone else in search of more energy. When I was growing up, there were no energy drinks, and there certainly wasn't a coffee shop on every other street corner. In high school, I was a competitive gymnast training 20-plus hours a week, a straight-A student with multiple advanced placement classes, and a big sister with twins. I had to balance all those roles and responsibilities, and I did it without caffeine. How did I do that? I remember doing my homework with The Tonight Show in the background and studying in the car. I remember trying coffee but hating its bitter taste, and trying to come up with creative ways to stop falling asleep in class. I also remember how intrigued I was when an army of girls gave away caffeinated beverages in the parking lot of the Anaheim Angels baseball stadium. These drinks were my saving grace throughout college and graduate school, and without them, I doubt I could have juggled 2 part-time jobs with my full-time student schedule. The point of this book is not to explain why energy drinks are good or bad for you, because that depends on many different factors. The goal is to provide a guide to energy drinks so that you can make an informed decision, A decision not based on the latest news story or locker room chit-chat, but based on your own circumstances and on the published scientific opinions of qualified experts. Energy drinks have been discussed and dissected before, but not like this. Advertisements, news outlets, and other popular media sources paint every energy product with the same brush. It's rare these stories include specifics of why these products are worthy of your next all-nighter or why they're potentially hazardous. Scientific journals go into the specifics of the mechanisms and chemistry of popular ingredients, but this can be extremely confusing if you're not a scientist, and even if you are. No one has been able to explain the nature of these products in a way that includes the specific but leaves out the confusing parts of chemistry until now. This book is organized by the 3 most common questions about energy drinks. Part 1, are they safe? Part 2, do they work? Part 3, how do they work? Part 1 reviews the ABCs of safety, adverse event reports, biological sensitivity, and consumption practices. Part 2 reviews energy synergy, interactions between ingredients, and the who, how, and when that determine the impact of caffeine. In this section, Mr. Swift and Mr. Thrift will demonstrate why timing is everything. Part 3 reviews ingredients found in many energy drinks. Each ingredient has its own chapter, so you can skip around to suit your curiosity. For each ingredient, you'll learn what it is, where it comes from, and what it does. For those pressed for time, just skip to the summary at the end of each chapter. The summary provides the bottom line, whether this ingredient has any real potential to give you energy and whether there's a maximum dosage you should watch out for. Examples, see niacin flush. To get the most from this book, flip through the variety of information in the appendices. You'll find tricks for waking up without caffeine and tips for reading labels like a pro. Most of all, you'll learn how to spot the type of energy product that matches your level of fatigue, a crucial skill for anyone who wants to avoid caffeine toxicity and dependence. Energy drinks are not for everyone, but it's folly to assume that absolutely no one can benefit from any of them. Whether you loathe or love energy drinks, knowing more about them can only help you. So that was a snippet from the introduction. I hope that you give this book a chance. I really think that you'll enjoy some of it. Maybe not all of it, but even if you're not somebody that enjoys energy drinks, I put a lot of time and energy, pun intended, to make sure that there was something in here for everyone. Whether you like green tea or coffee or you just want to know what all the B vitamins do. I hope you enjoyed this book. Thank you for watching and thank you for your support.